What is worthwhile? What knowledge is worthwhile? At any given time, we question this. Herbert Spencer questioned this during the Industrial Revolution. He asked a question. In the face of many schools at that time, they were teaching Latin and Greek grammar, reading those books, Bible, all those things. At that time, if they had AYP, those would be testing Greek and Latin. Okay, those are the most fundamental things, like to this math and reading. That would be. But he said, is that really what we need in the industrialized society driven by technology? For your own living, for raising a child, for being a good citizen? He said, no. He said, it's science. He said, Greek and Latin may be like the feather of peacock's tail, may look cute, fancy, but doesn't do much good in your real life. He said, now we need to think about science. That's the last time, by the way, our school serious questioned what we teach. That's the beginning of the so-called modern curriculum. That's the beginning of when we schools began to introduce science, mathematics into our curriculum seriously. Today, maybe we're in another time to ask the question again, to say, what knowledge is of most worth? The reason we need to ask is because of our human evolution. You've seen this, right? No. The idea is that we build our buildings and thereafter they shape us. This is Winston Churchill. When we create technology, we should expect technology to change us. High definition TV. Many of you guys have this now, right? Even in economic downturns. If you don't have one, you should buy one to boost the economy, okay? No. But it makes you look good. Makes your picture look nicer, crisper, bigger, right? But it's only good for some people. It has created winners and losers. These guys will look much worse than high definition TV than these people. And these are the winners, these are losers. Donald Trump would love to have black and white TV, for example. The idea is that technology redefines talents. You may be the same, but in different society, that ability may become less valuable, that ability become more valuable, right? So that's how technology defines us. The number one change is globalization. Globalization, in essence, is the shrinking of distance. It's the distance shrunk. I know in the US, we think globalization is the Chinese, Indians, Mexicans taking our jobs away, and for the Chinese, it's the Americanization, McDonaldization. But globalization is simply change of distance. The time and money and effort takes to cross distance has changed. First voyage of Christopher Columbus, long time, 3 months. Today, if you want to cross the same distance, how long would it take? With a layover in Miami, it's 13 hours. I had to get on Expedia. I couldn't find direct flight from the Bahamas to Spain. So that's 13 hours. Big change already, right? Information. The time it takes for information to cross distance. The Atlantic Ocean, the first telegram message across the Atlantic Ocean was this. That's 150 years ago. It took them 17 hours to send this message. But it was already very significant improvement over pigeons. Would you agree? I mean, that's... Yeah, definitely. You think about that. Now, today, how long would it take you to send this message? Seconds. Well, it depends on how fast you type. Money it takes to cross distance. 3-minute phone call in 1920s, $65 from New York to London. And today, I don't know, you can steal the wireless here using Skype. That's $0. When I first arrived in Oregon, it's $2.50 minutes, $2.5. Call AT&T from here to China. Plus, I actually didn't make phone calls. Nobody had phones. I couldn't call anybody in my village anyway. So, but now, today, it's almost free. So this is what we call something called the death of distance. Now, when death of distance happens, it changes how we interact with people. When traditionally, when there was no technology, our interaction, our business transactions are confined, are defined by physical distance. So we are here. We interact more intensively with our neighbors, our own village, our city, our state, our country, our world. So it's defined that way. But today, when distance is removed, we interact with everybody at the same intensity. And it's possible, potentially. I lived in Michigan for 15 years in this one neighborhood, never stepped in my neighbor's room. I mean, as you can see, I'm a nice guy, but I just had no reason to do that, More often, I interact with people in other places. What's the challenge? Challenge is expanded primary living spaces is this. global supply chain. Today, any business can fragment their production process, locate their production anywhere on the globe that makes business sense. And the business sense is this: quantity of labor and cost of labor. So if Chinese and Indians are cheaper, they can do the same thing, what would you do? Of course you go there. So the question for us, since our citizens work will have to demand more, the question is, why would anybody pay us more? What are we helping our children to develop? Even if we get the same quality, same test scores, I don't think they'll pay us. I will give you 100. I'll give you 100 points on math test for $50, but then they will get for $5. So what would you buy? You would buy something that would cost by $5. Six-pack. I don't test scores. Also, when distance removes, cultural distance remains. There's a language famines. We move across these places because globalization demands us, the US, Oregon, to move to Africa, to China to do business, and vice versa. What knowledge do we need to conquer those cultural differences? And also other differences are global conflicts, global warming, global problems. These are the new challenges demands us to rethink what knowledge do we have to make it happen. So what's the new hope here? Our hope lies in Madonna. Madonna was born in Michigan, in Bay City, a very small city, about 30,000 people, if you know Michigan. And I need to find different icons now because I'm now in Oregon, to find someone in Oregon who does this. Her talent is what we call niche talent. I know someone would even deny she had talent, but that's fine. Maybe 5% of people would like her, okay? So traditionally, if we lived in a closed society, her village or her city will not be able to make her a superstar today. So her talent was not of much economical worth. But now with death of distance, it's possible. Now also, on the other side, as you know, human beings, when we're good at something, we can't be good at everything. I bet Madonna was one of the students you would advise to stay home on testing days, just drag on your average. So what happens here, the story is that in the age of globalization, do not discriminate against those people who have special talents. Unique talents, who may or may not do well on these traditional value standards. Michael Phelps is another example, right? If we look at Michael Phelps today, ADHD student, today, I don't know, he would still be hooked on phonics in some basement somewhere. He can't do it because he has to finish it before he develops talents. So number one lesson, unique niche talents. Number two, eBay. Lessons lies in eBay. You do eBay all the time, right? eBay is a garage sale. eBay is one place you turn your junk into some anonymous treasure. That's what you do, right? But eBay is different than local garage sale. eBay brings people from different places together. Therefore, on eBay, you can sell things to a lot more people. What happens in education? Talents, what we have, what others don't have. English speaking ability, for example. It's not worth much here, right? English. But if you go to Japan, go to China, your language suddenly is of value. So we need to find out what we do that others cannot do. What we have that others do not have in our education. That's number two, eBay. And number three, this comes from this actually Chinese friend of mine. He's not a friend, but this is a new profession in China. They stand by highway exits holding a sign that's called road guide. It's a human GPS, basically. Because in China, the roads change so fast, you cannot have machines do it. Someone said that the national bird of China is the crane. That's for a reason. And so you go there, you get lost all the time, and then you need people to guide you through new profession. The same thing as I'm talking, when we navigate through the globalized world with religious, linguistic, cultural differences, don't we need a lot of human road guides? We need a lot of cultural consultants for businesses, translators, interpreters, all of those new professions need to come up. We also need people, for example, Ansi Chuang in Second Life. She was the this house developer, real estate developer. She was the first one to make $1 million by building virtual 3D properties in Second Life, playing the game, all those things. So now, We need people like this. Suhas Gopinath, a 14-year-old Indian who built a global company by making websites for American companies who don't have them. He quit his middle school just doing this whole thing, you know, it's just doing crazy stuff, entrepreneurs. So my answer is like Daniel Pink suggests. We need to emphasize not only left brain direct thinking skills, we need to move to the right brain direct thinking skills. Left brain can be outsourced, can be automated. The right brain skills, which is design, ability to create something beautiful, artistic, storytelling, understanding human emotions, putting things together are of new value. These are traditionally ignored, but somehow American schools have let them pass by, slip by without crushing them, but we need to do more. Also in schools, we need foreign languages, digital competencies from Europe. The US has a 21st century partners. I don't endorse this one. I like their list, but the list is too long. That by the time you finish it, you'll be 55, retiring already. It's too long. It doesn't work. So the problem in our schools we face is that human beings are different, jobs are diverse, jobs are global. What we need to do, but our school time is very limited. We cannot predict the future. So what can we do now? Here are some final suggestions. Yes. We need to teach our students to invent jobs, not create jobs. I took this from Social Network, by the way, the movie. Is that we need people to invent jobs, to teach our students to become global entrepreneurs. At the U of O, one of the things I want to do is to build some research around global entrepreneurs. One of the first things we'll do in this August, we are collaborating with organizations in England and Australia to run a conference on students as global entrepreneurs. How do we do it in schools? How does it happen? To do that, we need to capitalize on every student's, every school, every community, every teacher's strength. We should be strength-based. Not look at the deficit. When your students bring back a scorecard, some A's, some B's, some C's, some F's, do not look at F's, look at A's. What we can do. Look at our schools, what our strength. Each community has some strength. And that strength, because of depth of distance, is of tremendous value. We need to focus on teach some global competence. In Oregon especially, we want to interact globally. Are we preparing our students to function globally? We need to teach about digital competence. Not only a consumer of digital products, not a consumer of digital games, digital media, but creators. Creators, that's where we shine. That's our strength. We have a lot more stuff than many countries can have in technology, music instruments. So do not look at them as distractions. That's where the hope lies. So the eventually answer for teachers is personalized learning. England has been trying to do a national curriculum for the past 18 years. They just abandoned it. Actually, a quarter of English schools boycotted national test in August. They didn't want to go through the national ranking anymore. They said that has improved numeracy and literacy statistically, but deprived their children of a real education. They want a real education that's personalized learning. We should develop an educational plan that fits students' desires, needs, and status and context to help every child realize their dream. Education is about realizing each person's potential. Dreams and hopes is not about complying with the government mandates. That's something that the educators have to do. That's something I found American educators have to cherish, is we are agents to protect our children. We should have the autonomy to help everyone to be themselves. Thank you.